Yo, Don. What's good, bro?
What up?
We're taking Greenland tomorrow. You down?
Greenland. Tomorrow. Say less. Let's go. Yeah.
Wow, this is awesome! We're gonna get so drunk! What are we doing here? I told you we're getting drunk!
Damn! You were right. Greenland is sexy as a motherfucker, man.
Told ya. Hurry up, man. It's cold out here in Greenland, bro.
You got a problem, boy. Right here. Here's your right there. Right there. All right. Say, little game. Right here.
Oh, yeah! You see that? What that say? Read it, Akron. Ayatollah, tell me what it say. What's that say? What that say? Read it, Akron. Ayatollah, tell me what it say.
U.S.R. Do we have a problem? Huh?
Get your stinky asses out of here before I cause a nuclear holocaust up in this motherfucker!
Let's go! Let's go!
Stinky asses! Get your ass stinky asses out of here before I cause a nuclear holocaust up in this motherfucker!
Boy, you better get on out of here!
Haha, did you see Putin's face, man? It looked like he shat himself, bro.
Yeah, dude, what a little bitch!
I tell him, I'm on the case getting sideways. $1.45 on the highway. You know a nigga say just stayed on the dolo mission.
Sorry I'm late, but damn, I absolutely love what you guys did with the place. Now let's dance.
I don't know, this went a little long. They could have cut this a lot shorter. It would have been a lot better if it was shorter, you know, more concise. Why am I off tilter on the camera? I don't know what's going on anyway. So sorry I was late. I'm having some trouble with my grandson getting him down to sleep. He's still not actually down to sleep, so I don't know how long the show is going to go actually tonight. I might have to end the show to go put him back to bed. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I didn't want to blow you guys off, so here I am. It's Jim to tell you the news. Anyway. Yeah, brevity is the soul of wit. That's what I'm saying. That should have ended like, I don't know, that should have been like less than a minute. It didn't even sound like Trump. Yeah, it didn't look like him either. Or not made it at all because it wasn't funny at all. I don't know. I mean, it was kind of funny a little bit about the don't be a menace to South Central while sipping your gin and juice in the hood or whatever that movie. The Wayans brothers, and then trying to make it about Greenland, but that is what it is. So how's it going, everybody? We have I don't know what gun you're talking about. You're talking about on the show? Oh, you're talking about on. Looks like Dem Todd Blanche fired Martin Blondie Wiles led him and Trump's not in control. I don't know. I've seen that being reported. I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not about Eagle Ed Martin being let go or whatever leaving. I don't know. I don't have that information. I don't have the information to know if that's just. It seems like that might be stuff being leaked out of. There's been some reporting that's being leaked out by like anti-Trump people that are still the DOJ trying to basically do stuff. So we'll see. You know, how am I? I'm okay. How's everybody else? Good afternoon, everybody. Demoted to pardons lawyer. Well, he always was the pardons lawyer. That was his job, as far as I know. Brian Ogden with the first 5 says hugs. I mean man hugs. Well, thank you. Thank you for the 5. And with that, we are now 95 away from our first additional hour and 45 away from Bellavision. Yes, 45 away from Bellavision. I would show you Bellavision, but right now my grandson is laying on top of her, so I'm not going to show that. What are you doing? I told you not to play with that. Please. Go watch Blippi or Cars. Thank you so much. Yeah, here's see, he's can I pet the dog? That's what he's doing. He's just laying on the dog, hugging the dog, so whatever. Let's see here. We got some other stuff I wanted to talk about. Someone sent me this before we get into some other new stuff because they say I haven't been doing enough like pro-Trump stuff, which I thought everything I do is pro-Trump. I don't know. I play what videos of what people are saying and comment on it. So we'll see what this is.
Now to this, border czar Tom Homan revealing 145,000 unaccompanied migrant children have been rescued from Biden-era neglect. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the Biden administration lost more than 450,000 children because of its open border policies. And now DHS says it will not stop until every last child is found. Here to discuss is HHS whistleblower Tara Rhodes. Tara, it's so great to have you on for our viewers to remind them of who you are. You are somebody who raised the flag when you were working at DHS, that there were MS-13 members trying to sponsor children, and you saved those children from that horrible fate. Tara, we've now seen 145,000, almost half, found in just 1 year by the Biden administration, by DHS, Kristi Noem, the border czar, and HHS. How do you feel about this progress?
Well, hi. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to be with you. And thank you so much for continuing to shine a light on this critical issue of the missing children. Yes, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, he first secured the border, which absolutely cut down on the flow and in the child trafficking economy. And so that was the first critical move. And their next critical step was to put new leadership at the Office of Refugee Resettlement, which is part of HHS, which is where the children were being trafficked from, the Office of Refugee Resettlement. So they put some great, intelligent folks there. John Fabricatore, who is a senior advisor, also acting director Salazar, and their collaboration now with ORR, so the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the FBI, and DHS, they've been able to go out, do a concerted effort, door knocking, finding these children. It's wonderful news.
Yeah, it sure is. And they put in just some common sense things like, hey, how about a DNA test to make sure that the sponsor is actually related to the child as they say they are. And these are things that the Democrats and the Biden administration fought. I mean, it's just incomprehensible. Frankly, I think it's evil that you would put an unaccompanied child who crossed the border, probably got raped along the way, and handed him over to somebody that we have no idea if they're related to. And we knew, as you showed, that they were gang members trying to get these kids. Now, I'm interested in this, Tara, because you're seeing a lot of activists, left-wing Democrat activists right now, really concerned about, like the 5-year-old boy they found in that was abandoned by his own father. Who ran away when they captured him. They're really concerned about the conditions in these detention centers. Did you see any Democrats worried about the conditions inside of detention centers for these unaccompanied children during the Biden years?
So, Rachel, this is the height of hypocrisy. As you know, whistleblowers, DHS whistleblower Aaron Stevenson, me, along with a team of people from HHS, all blowing whistle, all in 2021, saying children were being trafficked, children were being forced to work in overnight shifts in slaughterhouses, children were going to MS-13. They knew it, and they did not care. When we went to testify before Congress, we were attacked, and it's absolutely the height of hypocrisy now to say that ICE should not be going out saving these children. Tom Homan made a commitment and the president said we are going to get public safety threats and national security threats off our streets. Guess what? That's what child traffickers are. That's what pedophiles are. And they should be out there, and they are doing a wonderful job finding these kids.
Yeah, well, there's another almost 200,000 left that they need to find. I have no doubt that they're going to do that. This progress is really quite impressive. It was a promise he made to me, as you know, Tara, during my interview with him in Bedminster months before the election. I asked him, will you do this? And no other candidate said they would. He said he would, and he's doing it. And credit, yes, of course, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, and of course, Bobby Kennedy at HHS as well. Tara, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your wisdom, your insight, and your experience. You've always been on top of this. Thank you.
Well, that's pretty cool, right? They're finding all these kids. That's great. I mean, they need to find all the kids, all of them. You know, not leave no stone unturned. Get them all. Get them all. What's up? Let me go. I forgot to say hi to everybody here tonight. Let me go through the chat and say hi to everybody. We got Iowa Backyard Cams was first tonight. Woohoo! Nice to see SB Farmers here. Says Melania was good. Kimby's Dirty Kitchen says Jiminy Crickets. HJ Remy's here. Hello, everyone. Kevin says 10 p.m. Yeah, that's it. You know, Jay Schwartz, what's up? Good to see you. Good evening, everybody. What the F's here also. Delay is obvious. I survived a window and death. There you go. Thanks for the pink who did it. Okay. All righty. I don't know what that means. It's now 10:01, Jim. Tiberius. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was having trouble getting my grandson to sleep, and he's still not asleep. He's laying next to the dog right now. So like I said, I don't know. I don't know how long the show's going to go tonight. We'll see what happens. Lisa's here. What's up? Good evening, all. Rachel Boone's here. Good to see you, Lisa. Yes, great. Gundam Zig says he survived a storm that never materialized because forecasts were shit. It was in the 30s where I'm at, which is insane. Insane. Like, I had to bring plants in, stuff, so my pineapple plants didn't die, and it's nuts. This is the best time of year usually for me growing stuff. Michelle's here. What's up, Michelle? Great to see you. NASCAR Mo. Hey, Jim. Hope you had a great day. Hope you're feeling better. Feeling pretty good tonight, actually. Good evening, Terry. Yes, Pat Hacker. All right, Rachel Boone. I got a cold here, but thankfully we're wrong about the snow. I got cold. Okay, Terry. Good evening. I hope there's some more news stories about anti-ice rallies tonight. I wasn't planning on doing any stories about the anti-ice rallies, to tell you the truth. I wanted the storm, but I knew it was a disappointment. Delay is here also. Delay is obvious. Breaker. What's up, Doc? Great to see you. Late. Yes, I was late. The crazies are setting up checkpoints. I did see some stuff like that. Which we might talk about the checkpoints, but we weren't going to talk about any of the crazy, like real crazy stuff. The best live show on YouTube tonight. Let's go. All right, we're going. What's up? The dog would be more excited about snow, but didn't care that much. Not so live at the moment. I know. Good evening to you and Bella. Okay, what's up? Hey, Jim and everyone. I hope you're feeling better. Thanks, Sunshine. Jay Schwartz, I hope we don't have to wait an hour for Bella. What's it say about something about late and gay unredded? Okay, cool. Andy Gorski, great to see you. Kelly says, I hope I didn't miss the show. Yay, let's go. All right. Sunshine Half Irish is here. Great to see you. WD Daisy, awesome. Brian Ogden, awesome. Q-Ed, what's up? Those Grammys were all about Satan. Yes, they were. And then the first rule of Satan is don't talk about Satan. What's up, Doc? Great to see you. Looks like Todd Blanche fired Martin Bondi Wiles, let him. Trump's not in control. Like I said, I don't know that story. I was reading some stuff about that there's somebody leaking things that aren't true, trying to cause dysentery in the ranks, dissension. But I like to say dysentery because it's was from Sopranos. Tony called it dysentery. Juvenile, very juvenile. How am I? Good. Trump was dressed like he was in Don't Be a Menace. That's right. It was funny. Yes. Good evening, everybody from Charvan. It was great to see you. Devoted to Parsons' lawyer. I don't know if that's so much important. And we did cover his $5 super chat from Brian. Can I pet the dog? Here's a big hug. Did I see Judge Jeanine Pirro lost her ever-loving mind? Yes, I did see that. I do have it, but I wouldn't know if we were going to talk about it. Basically, I think Jeanine Pirro was always somebody who was anti-Second Amendment. Always. I was very suspect of her being appointed as any type of U.S. attorney. She doesn't think you have a right to a gun. She thinks the state gives you permission, and the state decides when, where, and how you can exercise your rights. She's a conservative Democrat from New York. That's who she is. Sorry. She was a prosecutor in New York who's basically responsible for all the order of protection stuff that that you see that happen where people go get orders of protection, do all this crazy stuff, or like like abuse the system. She's responsible for those laws all coming into place. She was responsible for the first one ever passed in the country. So there. Tara's a good soul. Omaha Steak's coming. That's great. I didn't solve the problem. I capitulated. Well, sometimes I capitulate. We are family. Yes, we are. Good evening, Lady Bama. Great to see you, Lady Bama. Yes. Fran VT, what's up? How you doing? Joe. I smoked legal weed from the farm in California that got raided. It was and still is pretty dank. Well, James Jimbo, I would say it's probably dank. They got them little kids with them tiny, small fingers. They can get in there and, cultivate it very well. What says Omaha Steaks have more than just steak. My mom used to order from them. The coolers they ship their food in are amazing. Still have from 15 years ago. Yes. American Dreamers here. Yeah. Omaha Steaks also has like side dishes, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and like chicken and pork and everything. So thanks so much for some good news. Thank you. Hey, Saxon Rainey, great to see you. 1024. Well, it's 1024 now, but what, is the show not going? I was 10 minutes late to start, so I apologize. Oh, he's a good little guy. I feel you and get a kid to sleep. Mine are still up. Yeah, it's rough. Slap a sleep on him. Well, I don't do that. 75 here in Vegas. They're not sure of this winter you speak of. I don't get it. Slap a sleeper on him. Okay. A sleeper hold. Okay. I want my half hour or $2. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. I wish you think you're all grown up and get into all kinds of stuff. I think the big anti-ICE protests were a big nothing burger. Only at bedtime, though. It's hard to get them to sleep. Brian, I was looking at a cute place, 335 Simpson, Alaska. It's under contract. I adore the community. That's good. Brian says, $10, match me. Wow. Wow. With that 10, now we are only 85 away from an additional hour of show and 35 away from Bellavision. What are you doing, buddy? You can't push any of those buttons, okay? You can sit and watch, but you can't push any of the buttons. Groundhog forecasting more winter, 6 more weeks. I need a break out my soprano set. Yeah. How about I put a little dysentery in the ranks? That's what he said. Is that what you're worried about, these ICE protests is winter? Or come have them in LA? Yeah. What are you doing? That's not a toy. Okay. Tiny steaks are fake and gay. Yeah. All right. Whoa. Whoa, pick it up. That's what I'm saying. It's not a toy. Oh, I know. I closed a half hour early last time. I know I owe you guys a half hour. I just don't know if tonight's going to be the night. We'll see what happens. So you don't remember owing a half hour? I remember owing a half hour. That's why I started the goal a half hour later, so it was going to be 2.5 hours. But, I didn't. And then I started 10 minutes late, so it's all screwed up. Please go lay down over there. What's wrong? Where's your binky? It's right there behind you. I see it. No, don't let that old man tell you what to do. Push all the buttons you want. No. All right. So let's see. We got some other stuff here. Whoa. Explanation doesn't need anything. Okay. Let's see here. So, Boston mayor. Wait. No, wait. That wasn't what I wanted to cover. This was this one. Man, my bad. I was wondering why it was up there. So, district judges do not have the power to meddle in immigration cases. Congress made this clear. Immigration courts handle these cases. Then the Board of Immigration Appeals. Then the Federal Courts of Appeals. District judges have no jurisdiction. Immigration enforcement is civil, not criminal. We have used immigration warrants for decades. You don't need judicial warrants to round up illegal aliens and remove them. Calm. I'm calm. Thanks for having me, Ingram Angle. So this guy's going to talk about this rogue judge in Texas is trying to derail the immigration efforts by claiming stuff about Jesus.
Love when they pull that. Now let's get something straight. That 5-year-old was only in a detention facility because DHS says his mom refused to take custody after his dad abandoned the child when federal agents showed up, using kids as pawns. That's lovely. Here to discuss, Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project, former Gorsuch clerk. Mike, judge even dated the ruling February 31st, which was my favorite. Senator Mike Lee says he should be impeached. Has it reached that level?
Yeah, this guy is a judicial clown, and these district judges do not have the power to meddle in these immigration cases. The Congress has been very clear about this. We have immigration courts that goes up to the Board of Immigration Appeals, and it goes up to the Federal Courts of Appeals. These district judges have no jurisdiction.
But this idea that you can't use an administrative warrant, suddenly the Democrats don't like administrative warrants? When did that start?
Well, immigration enforcement is civil in nature. It's not criminal. And we've used immigration warrants for decades. You don't need a judicial warrant to go round up illegal aliens and get them out of our country.
Well, most of them have final orders of deportation already. They already have those orders, but they haven't showed up for processing, or they haven't showed up for their court hearing. So that's how that goes. Now, Judge Barry isn't hiding his disdain for President Trump. He liked a post, it turns out, on LinkedIn celebrating the No Kings protests. It said his actions have sown chaos and division across the globe, and that one of the consequences of his policies is crops rotting in the fields. Oh, brother, when there's no one left to harvest them. Mike, have you been to the grocery store? Is there any produce in the grocery store? I keep hearing that there's going to be no produce.
Well, I'm not a very good cook, so I don't know if I'll be in the grocery store.
You've never been in a grocery store?
But,
what are you? Come on, that's like, Republican criticism.
But I would say this about this judge. He needs to resign from the bench and go run for Congress if he wants to change our immigration laws. But he is clearly acting lawlessly and dangerously with his orders.
There are many vacancies on the federal district court benches across the country. I think there are 7 vacancies in Texas. There's, I think, 1 or 2 in Oklahoma, 1 in South Carolina, I believe. And these are states that have Republican senators, and I love everybody, but what the heck's going on? In some of these cases, there's not even anyone nominated. Alabama has 1. What's going on?
It sounds like these Republican senators need to get their heads out of their behinds and get moving on.
But this is hurting President Trump, because if what happens, Mike, explain to people, if you have a federal bench that has mostly Democrat nominees, and some of them are fine, fair, but if it's overwhelmingly Democrat appointees, what's the likelihood that President Trump in these hot cases is going to get a good ruling?
Well, then we get judges like Fred Beery down in Texas, and where there should be other Republican judges sitting on the bench right now.
Is there a dearth of young conservative lawyers who wouldn't want to be federal district court judges?
They are blowing up my phone constantly, so there is no shortage.
Okay, well, we'll dig into that. Mike, as always, great to see you. And coming up, the left's obsession.
Right. So there's that. That's good news, right? That these things are happening and people are, so This explains our immigration problems. A little primer on asylum. This is from Stephen Miller. There are no asylum seekers on the southern border. Asylum is limited to individuals fleeing extremely narrow categories of state persecution, e.g. high-ranking Soviet defectors during the Cold War. None of the groups of illegals crossing the border fit that criteria. Hey, Snarf's here. What's up? Great to see you, Snarf. Yeah, February 31st, they dated the order, Pat Hacker. That's crazy. I don't even think it's legal because the date doesn't exist, so that would make the law, order, like, I mean, I know there's like a weird ruling about that, but usually a date on an order kind of means something. No one in Mexico or Ecuador or Honduras live in nations where there's any state persecution of any protected class. It's all fake all the way down. All non-Mexican illegals have transited through additional countries on the way to America where there are no forms of state persecution, thereby further disproving any hypothetical claim. As yet, further proof of claims are fake. Aliens turn down the opportunity to avoid this fabricated persecution for being safely resettled in another nation. Illegal aliens receive free and functionally unlimited legal services when facing deportation. They and their lawyers, as a matter of course, automatically file fake asylum applications. It's a multi-billion-dollar fraudulent industry. It's gross, unethical, and deeply immoral. Everybody involved in the system understands and knows these claims are false. Adjudicating these knowingly false claims is a full-time job for thousands of people. Oh, Adam says, what's up, Adam? Great to see you. I've already been there a long time, a Clinton appointee. Oh, yeah. Yeah, why pick Cross when you can slap a Leering Center sign on an empty warehouse and make a fortune while on SNAP and Title 8 housing? Yeah. Section 8 housing, yeah. It's the law of we screwed up. Yeah. Well, the RNC wants to hurt Trump and nearly all associated with his movement purge. The only survivors will be the establishment assets who are now undermining him. Well, it's not. You know, you got phonies like Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that MAGA was all a lie. You know, it's just all a scam and a lie. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying now. So, federal law requires illegal aliens to be detained pending a hearing for their fake asylum claims. These are not prisons. They are not being punished. No one is being sentenced. Civil detention or removal is not part of Article 3 justice system. In fact, Congress stripped Article 3 of jurisdiction over civil immigration procedure. The goal of the U.S. government is to send aliens home immediately. They get cash and a free plane ticket with the fewest days in custody as logistically possible. Any delay is caused by the fake asylum claims. When a fake asylum claim is heard on the non-detained docket, the illegal aliens rarely show up for their hearings. Those few who do stay in the country regardless after losing unless placed in detention. Removal orders are ignored as a matter of course. If and when absconders are eventually found at great time and expense, they still have to be detained to actually effectuate the removal. At this point in time, their lawyers will file a motion to reopen their asylum claim or otherwise appeal the finding and seek release again. Regardless, no removal of any illegal alien anywhere can occur unless in a detained setting. If the alien has children, they are by law supposed to stay in a family residential center. That costs more per night than a high-end hotel and includes full medical, dental, scholastic, and other services. Huh. Brian says Section 8 Medicaid SNAP-WIC is not a working to build society. Biden officials did not even bother with the pretext of performing intake interviews for the millions and millions and millions they released into the U.S. The aliens were simply released on site, no questions asked, without court dates, with court dates years away, in the hopes and expectations that by the time their fake asylum claims were adjudicated and rejected, Democrats would be able to scream that these illegals have now lived here for X number of years and now their children must be allowed to stay at our permanent expense. No one in the prior administration responsible for these decisions actually believed then or now this has anything to do with asylum. To them, it's just a useful propaganda in the service of infinite mass migration. Well, yeah. Libs cry asylum is legal. Yes, applying for U.S. asylum is legal, but under U.S. law, while awaiting determination on asylum after detention is mandatory. If Biden hadn't waived detention, most would not have come. Yeah. Well, there's that. There's that. Yeah, but this is Boston Mayor Wu claims that every single human on Earth has a legal right to come to the U.S. So the auto pen was at Biden's southern border. Sounds like it. Yeah. Never too old for denim. Now, this is where we are, people. These folks will do anything and everything in their power to make their utopian dream come true. Yeah, Mayor Wu, CCP plant. Mayor Wu, Chinese Communist Party member, mayor of Boston. How does this happen? Every single human has a right to come to America. Think about that. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. All right. Now it's some news that's upsetting, but it's news and we got to talk about it. 2 officers shot one fatally in an unprovoked attack. Sunday morning in Gwinnett County, Georgia, Police Chief J.D. McClure described an unprovoked attack. 11 Alive reported the shooting took place at the Holiday Inn in the 1700 block of East Park Place Boulevard. Around 7:30 a.m., officers were dispatched to a hotel for a report related to fraud or forgery. The officers went to a specific room of the guest allegedly involved in the fraud and were invited inside. Once in, the guest, 35-year-old Kevin Andrews, allegedly pulled a handgun and began shooting. The Gwinnett Daily Post noted that police officer senior Pradeep Tomang was killed in the attack, and master police officer David Reed was seriously wounded. Philip says, yes, everyone has a right to move here if they want. We have a right to refuse them for any reason we deem fit. You see, the bullet point was invited in. Oh, okay. Overalls are comfy, but slow to get down at the bathroom time if you're a lady. They do have them that have buttons that open up, just so you know. That open, like that. You have a couple buttons to pull it for ease. Show Andrew's pick. What do you mean? One of the officers was able to return fire and end the attack. Chief McClure pointed out that Andrews has a lengthy criminal record, including active warrants through DeKalb County on violent charges. I mean that's just crazy, right? Velcro escape hatch, yeah. Same thing here from New York Post. Cop killed and another injured after being shot in an unprovoked attack in Georgia hotel. Tamang and his colleague, Corporal Reed, were rushed to the Holiday Inn Express Hotel in Stone Mountain around 20 miles from Atlanta, and they probed suspected credit card fraud. It says trap door, not available my size or crotch snaps. Very sad. It's a very sad story. It's over a credit card. Someone stole a credit card or something, fake credit card, and they killed a cop over a stolen credit card. That's just nuts. Can you get up there and lay down? The officer went right into the room, but allegedly shot when they tried to arrest Andrew over the outstanding warrant. Suspect produced a handgun and unprovoked attack. Both fired back, but Tanang, who was born in Nepal and was engaged, died. Andrews was a lengthy rap sheet, was left with a non. Oh, that's show Andrews' picture. Okay. Was left with non-life-threatening injuries. So the picture of the guy. Now I get it. Lots of ads tonight. The ads are off. There shouldn't be any ads. Shouldn't be any ads. Huh. Shouldn't have been any ads. They're off. What's going on? That is weird. We need to get Jim into a great night. We just saw Joe post a show. Yeah, well. Lisa says, I don't see any ads. Ads are char. I don't know. Ads are off. I don't know. So this is the other police officer that was injured. These officers are heroes. They go out of their way every day, and they understand at the end of the day they provide a valuable service and safety. So I haven't seen a picture of this guy yet. Let's see if this one has it. Georgia police officer killed, another injured. You're saying chat ads? There's ads in the chat?
please pray for the families of Officer Tamang and Officer Reed.
Officer Pradeep Tamang and Master Police Officer David M. Reed responded Sunday morning to this Holiday Inn in Stone Mountain after a caller from South Carolina reported their credit card had been fraudulently used at the hotel.
And at some point, the suspect produced a handgun and then an unprovoked attack fired at our Gwinnett County police officers.
Gwinnett County Police Chief J.D. McClure says that suspect is 35-year-old Kevin Andrews.
An individual with a lengthy criminal history, including multiple felony convictions for violent crimes, gun crimes, and narcotics.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is now leading the case. The GBI says the officers went to Andrews' hotel room to question him about the credit card. When they learned Andrews had an active warrant out of DeKalb County for failure to appear, they tried to arrest him. Investigators say that's when Andrews shot both officers. Chief McClure says one of the officers was able to return fire, shooting Andrews. Andrews is expected to survive. Master Police Officer Reed was taken into surgery in critical condition. Officer Tamang, who had been with the department less than a year, later died at Northside Hospital. As the Gwinnett County Department mourns,
this moment calls for compassion and unity.
Gwinnett County Chairwoman Nicole Love Hendrickson makes this request.
Continue to pray for the families, pray for our community, and pray for Gwinnett County Police Department.
Well, so I didn't still any picture of this guy to see what he looks like at all. So GBI is leading the investigation. That's it. They're not showing his picture. I would think, honestly, I hate to be this cynical, but I have to think that there's a reason. The muted, skipping, no cam, other BS is just criminal. What do you mean? I don't know what that means, SB Farmer. Okay. Certain people always off with the creators is so confusing. Muted, skipping, no cam, other BS. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have to think that the reason they're not showing this guy's picture, there's a reason they're not showing his picture. And I would have to guess it's because he's clearly a white man, and they don't want us to know about the white men doing these crimes. And Coulter is right. If it were a white guy, we'd already know his name and face. Well, just saying. No. This story is a 2 days old, but I didn't get to talk about it, and I want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about this story. There's an invisible coup is underway right now in America. An invisible coup is underway right now in America. All right. Peter Schweizer, he wrote a book, and the revelations of the book are shocking. More importantly, they're dangerous. An opportunity for all bright readers to get insights and ask questions. And he exposes the weapons of this invisible coup. The Chinese Communist Party has a spy spigot in the U.S. visa program designed by a Chinese spy that lets Beijing pour tens of millions of dollars into the U.S. elections. Like no description of the shooter of the two high school students. Yeah. And then Mexico has 50-plus consulates that are running shadow campaigns to sway U.S. elections inside the U.S. I mean, how are they billion-dollar book? How are they doing this? How is this legal? High school students in Seattle. Wow. There's thousands of Chinese pilots are being trained every year in the skies above California and Arizona. Why? Drug lords. Prominent progressives are working with cartel-linked operators to influence Washington. Yes, they are. Some of them are actually family members of cartel members. Obama encouraged Chinese birth tourism, Manchurian generation, and by the year 2030, over 1 million Chinese nationals with U.S. citizenship who grew up in communist China will be able to vote in U.S. elections. That's crazy. Crazy. That's why they're not citizens. And those are just a few of the bombshells. The online event is for these Fight Clubs owners so maybe check it out. I don't know. I thought this was more of a story, but anyway, there's that. All right, next story. Just in, Kami Mandami's mother is named in the Epstein files. What do you know? This lady who works for Disney, Kami Mandami's mama, is an Epstein bro, or bra, whatever. The mother of Mandami, filmmaker, attended a party hosted by Ghislaine Maxwell. What? Convicted sex trafficker. Whoa. Wow. They all hanging out and partying. Yeah. Resurfaced photo leaks Mandami to Epstein's. There it is. Connected event in New York City. Wow. It's nuts, right? Only way Chinese will buy our U.S. planes. Oh, okay. By training their pilots here. A photo showing Zohran Mandami at a high-profile luncheon tied to Jeffrey Epstein's associate has emerged following the release of a newly unsealed Justice Department records that reference his mother. A photo taken 2017 shows now New York City mayor smiling at Universal Pictures Get Out Peggy Segal luncheon at Lincoln Restaurante in Manhattan. The event was hosted by Segal, a once powerful Hollywood publicist who was later faced industry backlash over deep social ties to Epstein. The image resurfaced days after filmmaker Nair was named in a released tranche of Epstein documents. The records made public on January 30th are a broader release of millions of pages detailing the documents do not allege criminal wrongdoing. A 2009 email including a release. Siegel wrote to Epstein about an after party for the film Amelia, which Nair had directed. Uh-oh. The message states gathering took place at Maxwell's Manhattan townhouse and list attendees is former President Bill Clinton, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, and Nair. Oh my God. That's some crazy people. Is this his aunt that was taking the subway from Tunisia when she was working in New York City on 9/11? It's possible. It's possible. Another Brian Ogden, man, with another. Man, Brian's just been like all over the place tonight, man. That's $17 so far from Brian tonight. That's crazy. Wow. So with that, we are now $83 away from the first extra hour and $33 away from Bellavision. My door is open. I'm going to have to take care of that real quick. Hold on. Sorry. Our foundation as a family is redacted. Bill and Hillary have agreed to testify. I heard that. What? Why? I don't know. So, in lunch and photo, Madame appears alongside actor Daniel Kaluuya, filmmaker Shmit Amin. I just support you, my friend. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian. That's another $2 for Brian. Thank you so much, Brian. Wow. So that means we're now 81 away from the first additional hour of the show and 31 away from Bellavision. Oh, cool. Awesome. That's just great. And yes, the Clintons will testify, but they will plead to 50 the whole time. Maybe. Probably. I mean, they could, I guess. I don't know. See what happens. Second evidence shows Peel, producer Jason Blum, Allison Williams, and Segal highlight the luncheon's prominence during the Clinton Foundation. Never. Okay. And another $2 from Terry. Thank you, Terry. Wow, thank you. Oh, and then 5 from Trumpinator. Thank you. Oh, thank you. So with that, we are now, that's 7 off of 81. So that's, let's see. So that's $74 away. And $24 away. So 74 away from the first additional hour and $24 away from Bellavision. See, Bella is now alone. I didn't get to show her earlier for everyone to see what she looks like tonight. She wore her favorite dress. No. Anyways. There she is. Yes, Rally. What's up? Yeah, Trumpinator. Great. Hey, everyone. Thanks. That's awesome. So another photo shows Nair attending a private residence film event for Queen Cotway. Siegel was a dominant figure in the entertainment publicity known for her access to major studios. In 2019, following reporting that detailed her association with Epstein, multiple Hollywood studios, including Netflix, FX, Anana Piranha Pictures, cut ties with her, according to Variety. That's right. It's love support. We love the support as love support. We love the support and we rally, and it's great. So that's interesting, right? Epstein was first arrested in 2006 and on procuring a child for prostitution. That's just gross. And the Post says Zohran Madami's mom mentioned in Epstein files emails about films she directed. So we'll see what happens. So it's all types of stuff. And then on that same note about the Epstein files, and a little thing that what you want to call like a Schadenfreude is lawyers for more than 200 Epstein victims are pushing federal judges to order the DOJ to remove the Epstein files from public view. These same voices spent the last year demanding disclosure and accusing President Trump of stalling. The DOJ ultimately released the documents with required redactions, with Trump exonerated and damaging details now pointed towards Democrat power brokers. The pressure has abruptly flipped back to secrecy. That's right. The people that were screaming, get it out, Trump, get it out, Trump. Now it's like, oh, no, not that. Hide that. Put it away. It's like, either you want it public or you don't. 200 victims to sue to force the DOJ to take down the Epstein files. It's crazy. His mom was a Bollywood star. Her first marriage was to an author photographer named Mitch Epstein. Can't make this shit up. Mitch Epstein. Is that like, is he related to Mitch Connor, the Vietnam War vet? Mitch Connor. That's a South Park reference. I hope someone gets it. Here's from Epstein victims' lawyers urge judge to order shutdown of the website file, DOJ website file. That's right. The victims who wanted everything released now say they want the website that shows the public what it is. So what they wanted was they wanted it to be made public, but not for the public to actually be able to see it. They wanted it to be made public so they could say that, Mitch McConnell. Brian says, most worried about how our children are being educated for this. You ain't kidding. Our children are getting brainwashed. And it's horrible, horrible, horrible. Wow. With that, we are now $69 away from the first additional hour and 19 away from Bellavision. I'm kind of worried now where my grandson went because he left, didn't say anything. Whiplash. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It's like, well, no, this. Oh, no, now do this. Yeah, lawyers representing hundreds of victims, alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein, are requesting to two federal judges in New York to order the Justice Department to immediately take down the Epstein Files website. A letter obtained by ABC News, attorney Brittany Henderson and Brad Edwards cited an unfolding emergency and widespread failures by the DOJ to redact names and identifying information of Epstein's victims. So I wonder if these victims are actually people that were friends or whatever, and they're claiming to be victims. Yes, they are teaching Democrat activism in kindergarten today. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's insane. It's insane. Insane. It's insane. It's really insane. It's nuts. They're willing victims, some would say. For the victims of Epstein, every hour matters. The harm is ongoing and irreversible. I don't understand. If you're a victim, why would you? Attorneys added the system material began being published on the website. They have continuously been in discussion with the department to correct the errors and expectation that such failures would not recur. The expectation was shattered on January 30th when the DOJ committed what may be the single most egregious violation of victim privacy in one day in United States history. Irreversible, case closed. Well, that's the thing. If it's already irreversible, they have no standing to sue. Because, they have no remedy. If it's irreversible, then there's no remedy. Willing as in they were paid, some were. Definitely, I think they all were. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Lawyers add that since the additional 3 million pages were released, there's been thousands of redaction failures on behalf of nearly 100 additional survivors whose lives have been turned upside down. Survivors? Is that what we're calling them now? Survivors? Is everyone a survivor? Examples given include FBI documents with full names left unredacted, including an email with 32 minor victims which had only one name removed. If your name and likenesses are known, what's this lawsuit about redactions for? Epstein paid them. Yeah, Joe, I think this is, they want to shut down because they don't want, they wanted this to, they only wanted this to hurt Trump and the Republicans. And now that it's getting some splashback on the Reid Hoffmans and the Clintons and the other leftists, they want it to go away now. I have never come forward. I am now being harassed by the media, one victim identified as Jane Doe wrote in a letter. Well, if you never came forward, then how does anyone know you're a victim? Or just people whose names were just included that never reported being a victim and now are saying, oh, I'm a victim now because my name's in the release. Honestly, the Epstein thing is a fart in the wind. A lot of evil we already knew. A lot is no corroboration testimony. A bunch of shit talking and people who wanted to be near, rich, and powerful and regret it. Yeah, definitely. I think it's all about Trump, all of it. Yeah. We didn't have to worry about homeschooling before. Yeah. It's selection of redacted statements. DOJ sent out Monday. It removed several thousand documents in the media in the latest batch of documents that may have inadvertently identified victims. In a letter obtained by AP, officials blamed the release of sensitive information on mistakes that were technical or human error. U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton wrote the department has revised its protocols of addressing flagged documents after victims or lawyers requested changes to the process. Also, a lot of people posting are not posting the parts of the agents and investigators saying this is hearsay, no evidence. Of course they are. Our taxes are taken to pay for public schools, but we don't dare send our kids to them. Hey, guess who's back? He wrote the documents are promptly pulled down from the website when victims flag a concern. Something should be redacted. He said the concern is then evaluated before the redacted version can be reposted, ideally 24 to 36 hours. What's up, buddy? What is wrong? What is wrong? Go watch your Blippi. I know, our, not our. This is why we should not let this go. Dems win. This is why we should let this go. Dems win again. Entertains with crap for months. May not have been a hoax, but Trump was right. Should have let this alone. Yeah. Hey, kid, what's up? Yeah, so, they're just going to keep crying the reasons why something's Trump's fault and try to blame it on him. This says, Justice Department says it's taken down Epstein-related files that may have had victim information. May have had victim information. May have. This is interesting, too. This came out. I saw this story. Jeffrey Epstein lawyers met with the feds to discuss cooperating in sex trafficking case just 2 weeks before his death. So just 2 weeks before his death, he was talking about cutting a deal and turning in people. Go and turn in state's evidence on people. Huh. And there was a story today, too, also, that there was some report from a guard that claimed that Jeffrey Epstein's body was swapped out or something like that, that it wasn't him. I don't, yeah, he got shut up. That's what it seems like, maybe. Let's see here.
What are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm the
lowest.
I'm the lowest. Your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody knows.
Smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie.
Yeah, I saw that in a movie. The guy's quoting a movie. So, yeah. So Jeffrey Epstein was set to potentially cooperate with the feds in his sprawling sex trafficking case, with lawyers for both sides huddling just 2 weeks before he killed himself. Quick Portland update. Tommy Boy had a minor concussion. Captain Jerry has a concussion and cracked ribs. His rascal is stolen. Toast. Spider Mike, the bastard who did it, not arrested. I mean, I don't know. They might have to try to get the feds to do something. You know, the feds are going to have to step in. You know, they need to build cases. They need to report the stuff to the feds that their civil rights are being violated for civil rights complaints against the Portland Police Department. Federal prosecutors met with lawyers for the twisted pedophile financier in July 29, 2019, when his camp, in very general terms, discussed the possibility of a resolution of the case and possibility of the defendant's cooperation. That's weird. He was going to cooperate, and then he's dead. Okay. That's a picture. What is going on? Why is this? What is happening here? This is him in that suit, and this is him supposedly on the bed. The 66-year-old sex offender whose former pals range from world leaders to billionaires and Hollywood powerhouses allegedly killed himself just 2 weeks later as he was locked up in the lower Manhattan jail cell. Another document, Epstein files, references the same meeting with the feds, but notes the defense counsel did not make a specific proposal. They did not indicate what the nature of its cooperation might be. They are flooding the waters to supersede, maybe. It was suggested that the defense counsel contact SDNY if Epstein was prepared to accept responsibility for his conduct. They had a specific proposal for a resolution. On Friday, the Department of Justice released its biggest file dump to date, making 3.5 million pages of investigative materials of his trafficking network of underage girls and women. There are levels of PDFs. Yeah, they have different levels. Like, you know, they have different levels. Like, you know, like they have. What's to say? In real, Luigi victim may have been talking to. Wait a minute. So you're talking the victim of the victim of the guy that worked for the guy that was the CEO of the what? The CEO of the. I'm confused. On Monday, the feds notified a federal judge that they were forced to take down several thousand documents that may have inadvertently had some crap on it. It's called Tears, referred to jails. Just a little bit off. No, I don't understand what you mean about the a little bit off of what? The levels of PDFs? They have like just like anything. Like they have different levels of, you know, like whatever, Class A, Class B, Class C felonies. So they have different levels depending on if they use force, depending on if, you know, the age of the victims, stuff like that. I think makes it a higher level, stuff like that. You know, what they actually did. Clayton said the DOJ has worked through hours a week to address the victims' complaints. Congress passed the Epstein file. Just saying that the left seems to be good at shutting people up. Yeah, sure are. I mean, look at the history. Gary Webb, you know. Look at the, you know, Clintons, you know, Clintons have a very, you know, what do you want to call, high tendency of people who know things about them end up, you know, hurting themselves. Stoned chat. All right. JFK. Yeah. Same thing. To date, Epstein, who previously pleaded guilty to child prostitution charges, are the only two who have faced criminal charges in the case. Disgraced British socialite Maxwell filed papers in December revealing 25 alleged accomplices of Epstein reached settlements with victims and were never criminally charged. Just gauche pervert, is that supposed to be? Or gauche RFK and a tactic for all spy agencies. Yeah, I don't know what that first word is supposed to be. A pervert. He's a pervert. Yeah, but another 4 victims, Epstein's former employees were mentioned in a non-prosecution agreement, but they were never charged or named. Maxwell added in the paper seeking to overturn her 20-year sentence. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, Duke of York, is the most prominent figure to be accused of partaking in Epstein's sex trafficking ring. He was accused by Virginia Giuffre of having sex with her when she was a minor. Andrew has denied those allegations. Brian says, I'm willing to discuss Stone Chat, and the PDF levels are based on the type of offense done and the danger to the public level. Okay. I knew it was something like that. This is just the essence. Many other powerful and famous people have been embarrassed after they were linked to Epstein, the newest record dump. Okay. Same thing at the New York Post even says Epstein's lawyers met with feds to discuss cooperating in a case just 2 weeks before his death. Wait, that's the same story I just read, isn't it? Why? What's going on? Why does it keep multiplying? Why the tabs keep doing that? Why they keep doing that? Multiply. So, then onto this story, which Trump get high on McDonald's. Wasn't that the point of the dump? I think so, probably. Waiting for Andrew to be forced to taking the old German dynasty name. Oh yeah, what was that? Damn it. It's called Windows, Jim. Inception. Yeah. So Trump says federal authorities won't respond to protests in Democrat-led cities unless asked. So is this a tactical retreat? Is this a surrender to say that the feds are not going to do anything when there's riots in these cities unless the local politicians are fine with their cities being burned down and the federal government is not going to do anything to protect the rights of the other citizens? Jim is using MS-DOS. The president's instructions come after federal authorities shot and killed 2 protesters. I wouldn't call those people protesters. I wouldn't. Neither one of them were protesting anything. They were interfering. They were law-breaking, insurrectionists, seditionists. President Trump announced on January 31st that federal authorities will not intervene in protests in Democrat-led jurisdictions, but will continue to forcefully protect federal property. Okay, so that means they're just going to defend the property. They're not going to go out and stop anybody from doing anything. I have instructed Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem that under no circumstance are we going to participate in various poorly run Democrat cities with regard to their protests and riots, unless and until they ask us for help. Yes. Obstructionists, yes. Yes. Just when 10 got halfway decent, yeah, they screwed it up and went to Windows 11 or whatever it is now. So all the Trump threats were BS? I don't know. We will, however, guard and very powerfully so any federal building that are being attacked by these highly paid lunatics, agitators, and insurrectionists. The president's message comes after federal authorities shot and killed traitorous scum. I don't know. Should I call them traitorous scum? Is that a little strong? It's I guess it's spelled Scotch-tiny bit. Scotch-tiny? Anyway, I don't know. With the people that were breaking the law, they were criminals, felons. An immigration custom enforcement officer shot good. Okay. CBP officer fatally shot Preddy. Video from the footage shows the incident Preddy was filming, blah, blah, blah. The incident that involved in a struggle between Preddy and several federal agents. Oh, so they admitted he was Didn't he do the same thing in 2020? Pretty much did the same thing in 2020, which he should have invoked the Insurrection Act in 2020 when they started burning down fucking half of Minnesota and Kenosha and all these other places. Should have did it. Representatives for the family. Social media post, Trump said he issued instructions for ICE and Border Patrol personnel to be very forceful in protecting federal property. There will be no spitting in the face of officers. There will be no punching or kicking the headlights of our cars. There will be no rock or brick throwing in our vehicles. If there is, those people will suffer an equal or more consequence. Trump said state and local governments have an obligation to protect federal property as well as local property. The president also raised the prospect of deploying military personnel to assist in protecting federal property. Remember that I stated in the strongest language to beware ICE, Border Patrol, or if necessary, our military were extremely powerful and tough in protecting federal property. Yeah, but he's also, I mean, I'm not trying, this is saying, in my opinion, he needs to do more because he has a responsibility to protect all the people in the United States, all of them. You know, even the ones that, you know, even the ones that are trapped in these cities like Chicago, like Minneapolis, like LA, like New York. There's a lot of people who are trapped there, and their rights are being abused and stuff. I don't know. Trump says Windows 11 is good. You just have to turn off all the AI stuff along with customize it to look and run like Windows 10. I have a taskbar and start menu in Windows 7. Well, that's awesome. Even the ones that don't want it, yeah, you still have to protect their rights and make sure they're not getting screwed over. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. We got this story. It says Trump claims that Minnesota fraud exceeds 19 million. Blames the Biden administration and singles out Omar and Walls. Wow. Limited words and no common sense to work with. Yeah. Now all we need is a pandemic and we'll have Groundhog Day. Yeah. All the AI doodads. Yeah. President Trump on Saturday ripped Democrat leaders over massive welfare and daycare fraud. And it's a huge scandal in Minnesota. Geez, does Trump listen? He has to declare insurrection or martial law to use the military. He needs a nap. Shouldn't police be protecting all property? Yes. Yes, the police should. But if the police are not doing it, the local police are not doing it, it's up to the feds to make sure that it happens. The feds have to step in. They have to go after the local police departments for not for equal protection claims. They're violating constitutional rights of the people who they're not protecting. They're not serving. They're not doing the things. If they're not enforcing the law equally because of, these are left-wing people we like, so we're not going to arrest them. We're not going to do this stuff like in Portland and other places. These people are being attacked, but they are, but you're a right-wing guy doing an interview and you made somebody mad. We're going to arrest you like they did to Nick Sorter. Well, and guess what? That's the Fed's job and responsibility to protect the rights of all citizens. So they need to do it. Police are told not to interfere in the protests. Yeah, well, so he has a long-running feud with Ilhan, I married my brother Omar, and Governor Tampon Tim Walz, who they labeled corrupt or incompetent, or both. Why not both? Why can't they be both corrupt and incompetent? The theft and fraud in Minnesota is far greater than the $19 billion originally projected, Trump wrote in an early morning Truth Post. The Biden administration knew this fraud was happening and did absolutely nothing about it. Trump then zeroed in on Omar and Walz, whom he has clashed with repeatedly over the years. Scammer Ilhan and Omar are absolutely terrible friends from Somalia. Should all be in jail right now, or far worse, send them back to Somalia. Yes, send them back. Send them back to Somalia. Don't worry, Holman made an agreement with Ellison. You can't, that's the thing though, you can't make any agreements with these communists because they're going to lie. They're just going to change the definition of what the words were and say that they're keeping the thing because they're not to be trusted. I want to get back that money. Yeah, I want all that money's back. The states have a sovereign duty, but overseen. Yeah. Governor Walz is either the most corrupt government official in history or the most incompetent. Even a very low IQ person, of which there are many, should have known what was going on in Minnesota. Is that a Bud Ben, Jim? This is medication. That's all I'll say. Medication. Trump has repeatedly singled out Omar in speeches and social media posts, mocking her, accusing her of being a fraud, and suggesting she should be removed from the United States. He has also accused Omar of committing immigration fraud by marrying her brother. Claim Omar has repeatedly denied. I don't think I ever heard Omar deny it. I think she just, Earlier this week, after Omar was sprayed with a substance during a Minneapolis town hall, Trump suggested, without evidence, that she may have staged the incident. Well, what's your evidence that she didn't stage it? Omar, meanwhile, has said each time Trump uses what she calls hateful rhetoric, the number of death threats against her increases. Last month, she described Trump as a racist, bigot, xenophobic, Islamophobic in response to his attacks. Okay. Dozens of people, many of them Somali-born or Somali-American, have been prosecuted in Minnesota in recent years in connection with the large-scale welfare fraud schemes. Federal prosecutors have alleged that the scheme stole hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Separate investigations have also examined fraud in the state's daycare system. Trump and Walz have clashed on multiple occasions since Walz became Vice President Harris's running mate, when Trump repeatedly tying the governor to Minnesota's fraud scandals and accusing him of failed leadership. None of this stuff came out while the race was going on. What are they talking about? I mean, Joe is over there ranting on by Bongino. Billions with a B. Yeah, what do you mean? Is he mad at Bongino, or is he talking about how great Bongino is? Give the Somalis a hint. Those attacks have intensified as investigations into the fraud have continued. Wait a minute. So the investigations are into fraud. We're getting more evidence of more fraud, and so talking about it is attacks now. Wow. I doubt we'll ever know the details of what Holman told the Minnesota leadership, but I'm thinking it wasn't all smiles and kisses. Yes, mad at him? Okay. I'm here, no Joe. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate all you people. I appreciate all 57 people who are here right now on YouTube instead of watching Joe. Anyway, although I'm not saying don't watch Joe. I'm just saying. Wow, look at the largest crocodile. That's crazy. Oh, and then we got this story. This is interesting. Jaws says he didn't do shit. Tim Walz and Keith Ellison to testify at a House hearing on the fraud scandal. Do we think this is going to mean anything, that they're going to be forced to testify to Congress, or are they just going to be a back and forth with the demon rats trying to explains why you have owned the ghetto chat? Well, yeah, I don't see anybody in here really, but Gundam. Wow, crazy. So Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison will answer questions from a congressional panel investigating the welfare fraud in the state. The two will testify on March 4th to the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Americans deserve answers about the rampant misuse of taxpayer dollars in Minnesota's social services programs that occurred on Governor Walz and Attorney General's watch. Well, yes, the Dems will praise them. That's what's going to happen. It's just like this. Has anything ever happened from any congressional testimony that you can remember? Like anyone ever, anything, ever? I mean, the thing about me that when I totally lost faith in all, 56 watching and 54 likes, where else do you see that? I don't know. 55 now, 60 watching. There you go. Awesome. I will say, Watergate. Yeah. I mean, well, Watergate, that was a Republican. That was going after Republicans. But since Watergate, I mean, really, and that was all a scam. Watergate was all a scam. It was all a government put on. It was all done. I mean, think about it. What about, Iran-Contra? Nobody went to jail for that. Ali North, he didn't go to jail. He got pardoned or whatever. I mean, look at all the stuff with Benghazi. Look at all the stuff with, Just think about it. Like, all the stuff over the years, nothing ever seems to happen. Except for unless you're a Republican, then something will happen. If it's going after Republicans, something will happen. Like, they went after Navarro and all these people. Like, so the rules are different. We live in a two-tier system. If you're not a Democrat, you're at risk of going to prison for the rest of your life if you disagree with them. Because we live in a communist utopian society that's ruled by Democrat demon rat overlords. So, just deal with it. Americans deserve answers. Federal prosecutors have estimated the welfare fraud in the state could have topped $9 billion amid the nearly 100 fraud arrests. Walz, the 2024 Democrat nominee for vice president, announced that he would not seek re-election earlier this month amid intense criticism over the scandal. Yes, lawfare. Yeah, there's tons of lawfare. Earlier this month, members of the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Agency the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee testified to the same congressional panel that Walz likely knew about the fraud as it occurred. Well, yeah, they'll say, well, we knew that there was some fraud going on, but if we tried to stop it, we would have possibly cut off benefits for people who actually really needed it. JFK was banging Soviet spies, probably. The Daily Signal contacted both the governor's office and the Attorney General's office for comments Friday morning. Neither responded immediately. Democrats are panicking. I don't know. I hope so. Yeah, I just say never doubt that the rhino's capability to screw up something. Trump and says Jim deserves donations. I don't make anything near $50K a year. No well under it. Help by showing your appreciation, please. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Trump and And with that, we are now $64 away from the first additional hour and $14 away from Bellavision. We're almost at Bellavision, yes. Hello, thank you. So yes, let's see here. And then Gateway Pundit has this angle. They say Walz and AG Ellison set to testify for Congress about the massive fraud allegations. And Minnesota's leading corrupt Democrats will have more than a month to get their story straight. In the meantime, conservatives must keep that state's shocking social services fraud scandal in the headlines. According to a news release from the Republican Representative James Comer of Kentucky, chairman of the House Oversight Committee and Democrat Governor Tim Walz and Democrat Attorney General Keith Ellison, both of Minnesota, have agreed to testify before the committee on March 4th. And we have this. It says if Congress doesn't act in the next 10 months, Trump could be the last Republican president. Could be. Brian Ogden comes in with $20. Says, here you go, man. We're going to say that is for Bellavision to be activated. There's the Bellavision. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now we are $44 away. Just $44 away from the first additional hour of the show. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Too Generous. Oh, I forgot to do my thing for today. To give out my free membership gifting. I can send. This is going to be to all those people. Let's see who gets them. I'm going to send 5 now. See that? It says gifted 5. Jim tells you gifted 5. Jim tells you memberships. Wow, what do you know? I want to sleep like that. Yeah, me too. I wish I could sleep like that. So let's see who got those memberships for me that I gifted out. Jeremy Alt, 4791. Russafus. And it's Brian Ogden received a gifted membership from me. There you go. Siegel Gunner did, and so did Mick Reekins, CEO. Mick Reekins, CEO, got one too. There you go. That's awesome. And, Bella. Here's Sanko over there, 2022 on the Twitch. It says, one day they came for the black person, one day they came for the Jew, one day they came for me. Yeah, no, that's not happening. They're coming for the illegal aliens. If you're not an illegal alien, you don't have nothing to worry about. They're enforcing the law. That's all they're doing. I forgot to ask earlier, Jim, did you get any of those frozen iguanas? I did not go out and pick any up. It's been too cold to go out. It's really been too cold. It's been like in the 30s and 40s. It's been nuts. It's been insane. Let's just say, maybe you need a grandkid. Oh yeah, Effie, maybe you need a grandkid walling all over you. Yeah, so like Bella, if you had a grandkid over you. Here's a tiny bit from Sunshine. Thank you. Thank you for the $2, Sunshine. With that, we are now $42 away, just $42 away from the first additional hour of the show. Okay. Those iguanas are juicy. Yeah, Effie. You would have to stick your arms and legs out to sleep like Bella. Yeah, you have to like maybe if you lay, maybe if you lay like that, you sleep really good. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna try it. I gonna try it. So Americans deserve answers about the rampant misuse of taxpayer dollars in Minnesota's social services programs. The House committee recently heard sworn testimony. Yep, and they raised a bunch more concerns. Press release also noted that 2 Minnesota Democrats' testimony will support the committee's ongoing investigation into extensive money laundering and fraud in Minnesota's social services programs. All because of the information uncovered by ex-independent journalist Nick Shirley. Do the iguanas thaw out and come back to life? Yes, usually as long as it doesn't get that cold, like they usually just because they're cold-blooded, so they depending on how the temperatures, how they're like they can basically go into hibernation. Brian comes for another 2 and says, "Thank you for my membership." Oh, no problem. No problem. Brian, thank you. Thank you for being so generous. And with that, we are now just $40 away, from the first additional hour of the show. And it's a really good show. Brian going to gift the membership back. There goes Brian gifting the membership. See who got that one. That one went to Eclectic Deb. Received a gifted membership from Brian Ogden. Wow, and since I'm over here, I might as well do this. I might as well go ahead and say screw it, and I'll do another 5. So Jim Tells You will send out another 5 gifted memberships. That's funny, yes. As Jim Tells You gifted another 5 memberships. Let's see who got those. The fraud is going on everywhere. I believe so. I believe it's everywhere. This says Gerard Blocker received a gifted membership. Jill Shaver. Pat Hacker, it says the fraud is going on. I thought it was Pat Hacker for a second. No, Pat Hacker made a statement. The fraud is going on everywhere. Lizzie Bartley received a gifted membership. Carmen, not Electra, received a gifted membership. Wow, if that was Carmen Electra, that would be something cool. I partied with Dennis Rodman before. Long story. LW2939 received a gifted membership from Jim Tells You. Brian said the iguanas in his yard are doing that frozen thing. Yeah, well, they definitely are. They do that frozen thing. They just don't move. Yes. Eclectic Deb says, thanks, Brian. Nancy Pelosi thaws and comes back just like that, too. Ugh. I would prefer not to come back. That's what I'm saying. Just saying. Nick Shirley risks his personal safety to expose the scandal. Minnesota anti-ICE activists responded to the surge by doing everything in their power to physically impede ICE operations. I lose my green on the 4th. Oh, no. Thank you for the gifted memberships, yes. Rather than encourage state residents to respect federal law, Walls and Jacob Mayer Frey of Minneapolis adopted bellicose rhetoric as they wanted a confrontation. Things got worse. The next day, someone else, Don Lemon, another communist, invaded a church, stormed a church. Tensions peak. A 27-year-old activist died in a scuffle with ICE. It was actually CBP if it wasn't ICE. If I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure it's CBP. I hear my grandson right now yelling about something. Party with Dennis Rodman sounds interesting. Oh, yeah. Fun guy. Great guy. One may hope, therefore, that testimony from Walls and Ellison leads to the accountability Comer promised. After all, one senses that Minnesota has endured months-long violence because Demon Rat leaders want to distract from the fraud and scandal. With that in mind, we must do everything possible to keep that scandal in the news cycle. This article appeared originally in the Western Journal. The toads just turned off. All right. Now we got this story. This story, which is, I kind of teased it earlier. Here we go. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, MAGA was all a lie. Did you see they moved Mount Suribachi to Minnesota? Disgusting. What? Former representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said President Trump's Make America Great Again slogan was a lie, saying his first year back in office was focused on obliging wealthy supporters. I don't think so. I don't know what she's talking about. I think people are realizing it was all a lie. It was a big lie for people. Yeah, because she was one of the people that, was all about the Epstein files getting released, remember? And did all that stuff with those people. Well, why isn't she saying anything now that it's all out there? She's saying that they can, that she one of the people now saying it should all get taken down? Or was it just something for her to hitch her wagon to? I think people are realizing it was a lie. It was a big lie for the people. What MAGA is really serving in this administration, who they're serving is their big donors. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, look at this. She was in an interview. This is who Marjorie Taylor Greene is in an interview with. Kim Iverson. Fucking communist Kim Iverson. I mean, who is Marjorie Taylor Greene? The only lie is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her being MAGA was a lie. Marjorie Taylor Greene pretending any of this shit that she was not a leftist asshole was all a lie. She is nothing but a lying scumbag. That's who Marjorie Taylor Greene is. She's the lie. Protesters mocked the big flag raising on Suribachi onto Iwo Jima, but with the small, oh my God, Somali state flag. Who cares about MTG? I don't. I'm just saying. I just let people know she's a scumbag. The big donors that donated all the money and continue to donate to President Pax, donate to the 250th anniversary, are donating to a big ballroom. The ballroom, the people donating to the ballroom are saving all us tax dollars, because that's not tax money that's being spent on something for the government. So everyone should be happy that our tax dollars ain't going to it. Pretty good liar, too. Yeah. I think Trump is doing good, but I think he could be doing more and demanding more from Bonnie to take more action. Oh, definitely. Always demand more. I mean, especially since, if you think about it, Trump is the epitome of the big ask person. He always does the big ask to get. He knows in negotiations you can't ask for what you want. You got to ask for something out here. That way you can negotiate to get to where you want to be. So we're asking for a lot more. Get it? We want much more. If you're ever satisfied, then they go, oh, if they're satisfied, we're doing too much. We don't want them to be too satisfied. We got to do less. We always want more. The former Georgia representative recently resigned from Congress after airing concerns over future health care premiums. Oh, was it? No, it wasn't that. And the war in Gaza. No, that actually wasn't. That was about, it was over Jeffrey Epstein. It was over everything with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was over the Epstein crap. Citing fractures within the GOP and a falling out with Trump and MAGA despite years of loyal support for the president. I don't think there was. I think if we look, we'll see that she was always a code pink like and scumbag. Was always hanging out with those people. So it was probably, she was probably a lot of shit that was tied to her. DC is 70% sandbaggers. On Wednesday, she said people who truly benefit from backing Trump are financial benefactors, telling Iverson those are the people that get special favors. They get government contracts, they get pardons, or somebody they love or one of their friends gets a pardon. Oh, really? So all the J6 people that he pardoned were all big donors, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is that what you're saying? Huh. So all that time before, when you were claiming you were trying to go to D.C. to visit J6, the political prisoners from J6 and all the other stuff, that was all a lie? Or they were just big donors? You were doing that because of big donors? I had to step away because I'm LMAO, yeah. Since the start of the second Trump administration, the president has encouraged wealthy sponsors to provide private contributions for his political endeavors, including the construction of the White House ballroom. This is such bullshit. Green criticized the favoritism. What a bunch of bullshit. Oh, the foreign countries, they're running the show here. Oh, so she's still, so that whole Jewish space laser things, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene really believes that shit. And she believes Israel runs the U.S. because it says, they're running the show here. There's big major corporations, best for the world is what MAGA really is. We're seeing it from behalf of Israel. We're seeing it the people of Gaza. Oh, my God. Marjorie. Wow. Didn't know. It's kind of like the Scooby-Doo where the mask is pulled off of the bad guy. Oh, the former lawmaker alleged that MAGA is not really about America or the American people. What? Pat Hager says, I will take Tulsi and RFK over folks like MTG. I worry a little bit about what happens if those people like Tulsi and RFK are just like this, but they're just saying what they need to do to get by. You know what I mean? And they want to power again and stuff. Hey, what's up? Dave's here. BTM Reviews Channel. Jim, my friend, good to see you. Good to see you. I stopped in your show earlier tonight. I said, what's up, boys, in the chat. It was great to see you guys. I was watching, but I was watching grandkids, so I couldn't really participate in the chat. Trouble says, I used to like MTG, but the LSD got to her. Yeah, that'll happen. Well, too much LSD will fry your brain. You got to be careful with that stuff. This Kim Iverson is a nut job wacko leftist, crazy commie. So Gundam Zig has something from Jack Crosby. I think I might have that, but let's see what it is. If that's the one I already have. Oh, okay. This is about. All right, we'll look at that. I see what it is. I know what it is now. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene bluntly declares MAGA was all a lie. Kim Iverson. Oh, what do you know? Yeah. So. Okay. On to the next story here. If you notice, I'm going a lot faster with the stories. I'm not dwelling on them. I'm trying to give you guys the news. What's that say? They aren't. MAGA, the thing she never created. Yeah. California Attorney General sues the one hospital that stopped doing gender-affirming care for minors in California. So a hospital says, yeah, we're not going to do that stuff anymore. And so they get sued by the Attorney General of California. So wait a minute. I thought, now this, just hear me out. I think this might be a little hypocritical maybe, because I thought they said that the Trump administration, all right, the politicians shouldn't be involved in this. Leave it to the hospitals. So you have a hospital now that says we're not going to do this anymore. And so now they're getting sued too. So it seems almost like nothing's about what they say it is. It's always just about their power and control and pushing what their agenda is and what they want forward. It's not about any of the fucking things they claim it is. Adam says, MTG left Congress. I like MTG. I like that she left office. Okay. Yeah. I just wish she would shut up. So, yeah. California is suing a San Diego Children's Hospital. That's right. You heard that right. San Diego Children's Hospital. After it stopped gender-affirming care to minors. Attorney General Rob Bonta is taking Rady's Children's Hospital to court, claiming the hospital broke the terms of a merger agreement with the Children's Hospital of Orange County. Why would the Attorney General of California be suing over a contract dispute between two hospitals, a merger agreement? Trumpinator says, MTG's all about Epstein because she thinks it will hurt Trump. She's got it out to hurt Trump for some reason. I don't know why. It's in her mind to hurt Trump and to hurt us. Really, everyone should look at people like MTG and what they're doing. Any people that are doing this, they're all about this, they want to hurt Trump. what they really want to do is hurt us, the American people. Trump's just in their way, in the way of them getting to us. So, take that for what you will. Rady says the move came after Trump administration threatened to pull funding for them. That it? That's all the story. Oh, Rady's Children's Healthcare has chosen to violate its merger agreement and California law in response to the Trump administration's legal campaign. Yeah, Bonta the mutilator. Yeah, I don't understand what a merger agreement would have anything to do with this. Reagan flagrantly disregarded its legal obligation by unilaterally deciding to preemptively comply with the administration's demands and cease medically necessary care. Well, that's the difference, is who says it's medically necessary. I get where MTG is coming from. Not enough Fast and Furious, but wish she'd go to the dustbin of the oblivion. They want high school gender reassignments. Yes, they do. A detransitioner just won $2 million after having a mastectomy. Well, that's the only thing, honestly, Ms. Hacker, that's the only thing that's I think is really going to stop this is lawsuits. Lawsuits from the people affected by it, suing these hospitals, suing these people, and then eventually insurance companies are going to go, whoa, we're not. If you're doing this, we can't provide you insurance. And it's going to be, it's where the rubber's going to meet the road. It really is, responsibility. Ultimate responsibility of who made these decisions, and that's it. Sue stuff away. Everybody wishes her well. I also wish she would shut the fuck up. Reagan fairly disregarded its obligation by deciding to preemptively comply with the administration. We will not allow Rady to violate its obligations to its patients and the state. Yes. Sue them into oblivion. Yes. We will fight to uphold the law and ensure Californians can access gender-affirming care without facing unfair roadblocks. Bonta approved the merger back in November 2024. Oh, so they had to approve the merger? What? Butler Pepion says MTG wanted Dem no negotiation, hard and fast like the Dems do. And why we lose everything because the GOP have no balls. Who's a tortoise? Lawyers are modern inventions. Bonta is a dick. Yeah, he sucks. The merger conditions include a requirement that Rady maintain existing levels of specialty healthcare services through 2034. The condition also prohibited Rady from discriminating on the basis of gender identity, and other specified protected characteristics. The hospital said it made a very difficult decision to protect its broader pediatric services. The decision was guided by our responsibility as a non-profit pediatric healthcare system to continue serving all children and families. The hospital said in a statement. Rady announced on January 20th that we stopped offering gender-affirming care to patients under 19. Epstein emails talking about transitioning kids. With who? Who was he talking to it about? This comes after a group of 19 states and District of Columbia sued after over the puberty blockers and hormone therapies and surgeries for minors. Because Homeland Health and Human Services called puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgeries for minors unsafe and ineffective. What's this? This is a story. It's like a local story, but I thought it was funny. So it says, what a trip. Inside the Long Island facility, letting patients trip on drugs, drink beer, and gorge on potato chips while watching sports. Scroll back. Who died? I don't know what you're talking about. Where? Oh, I think you're talking about the Savannah Guthrie stuff. We're going to get to that. That's a very interesting story. The Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie, you think it was Gates, but can't swear to it right now. MTG as a lawmaker should know how slow government works. Jan 6 were locked up in it. quick due to corruption in D.C. and DAs and judges. A corruption Congress unwilling to clean. Yeah. Who died? I think you're talking about the story about Savannah Guthrie's mom. Ohio, we do that. I don't know what that means. It's very suspect about they're searching from. She seems to have been kidnapped out of her house. Her mother, and she lives in like rural Arizona. So it would be. I don't know. I mean, that area, it's possible, could be illegal aliens or cartels, or it could be any number of things. But I'm just saying that would be kind of like a wake-up call for her, the liberal woman that her mother, what I'm saying? Just like, oh, look, remember you said these people commit less crimes than everybody. Now it happened to you. What do you think? That would be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. So we're studying a full dose to produce anywhere from 4 to 6 hour trip. With cannabis, we're asking them to consume it all at once rather than puff on it throughout the day. What? That's it on the story? That's it on the story? Was it kidnapping? Okay. So that's it on that story. So there's something. And then there we go. California AG sues a hospital that ended gender transitioning treatment for minors to comply with Trump's policies. And then here's the original story from Night News 11. State of California sues Rady Hospital over dropping gender-affirming care services. Wow. So so there's that, which is good. I think stop the care, that's it. It's just hurting people. Get rid of it. Then we got this story, which I don't know. I don't know why this is a story. I really don't. Like, I saw this, and I'm like, why? I want to say, like, this is the media. State Assemblyman Bonta was appointed Attorney General by Newsom. Guess who filled his Assemblyman vacancy? His wife, of course. So Donald Trump spoke with FBI agents about the Georgia election search report. Now, this story, I'm only telling you guys about this story. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Mother Papillon says that area where Savannah's mom went missing is upper middle class, beautiful and quiet. We lived there 9 years ago. Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, though, is it's a strange thing to happen. And, like, if it wasn't somebody that specifically targeted her because of who she was, like, I'm just saying. My immediate reaction was, oh, cartel, illegal alien, something like that. That's what my immediate reaction was. So that's all I'm saying about that. And then Doc says gender-affirming care by deleting their gender as about saying is reproductive rights. That does the opposite of reproducing by killing a baby. Yeah. Well, that's what they do. They change the words around. But this story, we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. A couple minutes only, because I just wanted you guys to be aware. So if you see anybody talking about this, saying like, oh my God, Trump, blah, 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 this was days after the raid. He just spoke to some of them like, that's it. That's all. Art Bell, $2. Oh, Art Bell. Awesome. Mount Papillon says Catalina foothills right before you go up to Mount Lemmon. It's odd. It makes me question more. Why her? Why there? Why? So anyway, so this story, they're making a big deal out of it, almost like that Trump talked to them before or did something like somehow it was, I forgot to do this. Shit. Sorry. So we are currently $38 away from first additional hour. Sorry. And then I saw another one came in. And then another one from Terry. $2. Takes us now to $36 away. From the first additional hour. China allowed to buy Venezuelan oil under Trump rules. Yeah, I saw some. We're going to get to it. I wish you could live a life on Art Bell content as passionate as you are. I love Art Bell content. But who was against a 75-25 split? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so So that's all. That's all the story is. And we're going to just real briefly talk about it. So Trump directly spoke with FBI agents involved in a recent search of a Georgia election facility. According to the Times, the call took place a day after the agents searched the election center, seizing ballots. So the day afterwards, not the day before, the day after they did the search. What to tell them what? You guys did a great job, thank you, or something. Who knows? The Times reporter Gabbard used her cell phone to call Trump, who later returned the call and addressed the agents on speakerphone. Okay. Official told the Times that Trump personally directed Gabbard to travel to Atlanta and coordinate her actions with senior FBI leadership. President Trump pledged to secure America's elections. He has tasked the most talented team of patriots to do just that. Director Patel is working together to implement President's election integrity priorities. So, I mean, that's it. That's all. This is the stories. So, Tulsi Gabbard called him. He didn't answer. He called back the next day, and she goes, "Oh, hey." She said, "Well, thanks, did a great job, whatever, blah blah blah." And she goes, "Okay, I'll put it on speakerphone and tell all the people I'm with." Like, why is this a news story? To just try to smear Trump and make people see he's corrupt. He's talking to the agents. He's pushing this. It's like, no, that's not what happened. So they seized all these ballots. So hopefully something's going to happen with these ballots. Hopefully, maybe they're actually going to do an official count, a real count on the ballots. I'm like, hey, who knows? This is just pondering, just thoughts. Maybe they'll come up short a bunch of ballots. Maybe there's a bunch of ballots missing. Who knows? Maybe the numbers don't add up. That would be funny, right? They tried to do that with help is on the way for Iran. Yeah. Brian, are you saying good night? If so, have a good one. Hippies can't handle trees. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's it. And then this story, which is very interesting, which the U.S. to cut tariffs to India to 18%. India agrees to end Russian oil purchases. What is something weird going on here? Why I'm only getting like one story? I usually have three, and I know I had them. U.S. to cut tariffs on India 18% as India agrees to end Russian oil purchases. So, okay, where's the fucking... whatever, that's not a story. Well, I guess I can't use Zero Hedge anymore. This story, this country is suing the Trump administration after the FBI seized election records. So this county. So yeah, so I think that one might have, that story might have got somehow inserted where it shouldn't have been, because this is still about this. This should have been right here. So yeah, so after, now the county is going to sue Trump over the records that were taken, the election records that the last story was about. So yeah. FBI agents showed up in Fulton County and seized boxes of records. And now the county is about to take the matter to court. So they're going to sue over FBI investigation? Maybe. That's crazy. I didn't like that Trump said he was coming for Iran to help the protesters. Okay. Yes, I appreciate all the givers, whether big or small. I do too. I like to be a giver. Fulton County official announced on Monday that the county will file a lawsuit against the Trump administration over the seizure, arguing that the warrant the FBI used to justify it was invalid. What? Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. said the lawsuit will challenge the legality of the warrant and the seizure of the sensitive election records and force the government to return the ballots taken. Arlington said the county's attorneys are expected to file a lawsuit in federal court in the Northern District of Georgia to fight the action. The FBI served a warrant last Wednesday at the Fulton County Election Office and taking 700 boxes of election material as pro's alleged voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. I've asked the county attorney to take any and all steps available to fight this criminal search warrant. Why would you want to fight it? Like, this is insane. That, like, you're admitting that you fucked up and that there's fraud. The only reason you would fight this, if there's nothing to hide, what difference does it make if they took ballots from an election 6 years ago? What are you doing? Nothing makes sense here. The search warrant, I believe, is not proper, but I think that there are ways that we can limit it. The statement continues. Oh, he doesn't think it's proper. Oh. People in Georgia better go to jail over all this crap, but sadly I have zero confidence in Blondie's DOJ. If I thought they were on the up and up, yeah. We want to ask for a forensic accounting. We want documents to stay in the state of Georgia under seal, and we want to do whatever we can to protect voter information. There's no voter information on the ballots. All right? The actual ballots. They didn't say anything about ballot envelopes. They're talking about ballots. A visibly uneasy Fulton County, Georgia Commissioner Mo Ivor reveals the FBI took 700 boxes of 2020 ballots. This is like all wrong. We're trying to figure out a legal plan. Let me find out what the legal plan is. The dramatic walk-offs after the video. Let's see. We'll watch this.
Hey everybody, so here's an update. We're at the Elections Hub right here off Fairburn Road, and they did correct the warrant, and they are now in there getting the documents. 700 boxes of 2020 ballots and accompanying things that go with it, absentee ballots, all the things, right? So Superior Court, Shay Alexander, is in there making a log of everything that they're taking, but this is like all wrong. So we're trying to figure out a legal plan, and we should have one, whether that's an injunction, whether a motion to quash, whatever it is, we're trying to figure it out right now, because this is an attack on our elections. Meant to...
How is it an attack on the elections for the FBI to come in and looking into something? They've had all the ballots for 5 years and done nothing. Well, they've been ordered to turn over the ballots to the fucking state of Georgia, the state Senate and all them, and they've been fighting it and refusing to turn over the ballots. There was a court order, and they were ordered to turn over the ballots and stuff to the state to look at. To the state, and they wouldn't turn it over to the state, so who knows? So, I gotta change your diaper? Stop. Okay. All right. How many years later? All right, I'm gonna play this. I will be right back.
Keep you from trying to go to the polls in November, being too afraid to change what's going on in our nation. So instead of worrying about people dying in Minnesota, here we are at the Fulton County Elections Hub. So let me go find out what the legal plan is. Hi, everybody. Listen, I know you're watching the news. You're seeing a lot of stuff about this FBI raid at the Fulton County Elections and Registrations. I'm on the inside right now. So I just want you to be real discerning about all that you're hearing from people who are on the outside of what's going on. I'm going to give you the truth about what's happening. So they served a warrant, the FBI, this is Trump, serving a warrant to go pick up the 2020 ballots, which are in a secure location inside of here, 700 boxes. The first warrant that they gave was incorrect legally, they didn't follow the right procedure. They went back and they fixed it, and they came back, and now they are actually collecting the boxes. They are in the chain of command in Fulton County is that once they are archived, they become the possession of the clerk of Superior Court, which is Shay Alexander. She is here and she is with them inventorying everything that they're taking. We, the commissioners, the chairman, the county attorney, are trying to figure out a legal plan as to maybe an injunction, a motion to quash. We don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out. We're getting all kinds of legal advice to stop this, because once they have the ballots, how do we then turn around and do something different when they've already got their hands on it? So this is an attempt to take your vote away. This is all about November 2026, about the primary on May 19th and then the November election. He does not want the midterm elections to take away his power. So he's trying to create chaos. So this is what he does. Chaos in Minnesota, chaos in Fulton County. We are a target. Protect your vote at all costs. I'm telling you, everybody always says your life depends on it. Oh, your life does depend on it this time.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. All right, you got to go. You can't be here. You got to go. You can't lay on the dog. Come on, go to bed. It's way past your bedtime. You got to go to bed. Bombs away. Come on, you got to go, James. Please. Anyway, yeah. So, what was I saying? I can't believe I was muted that whole time. Anyway, come on, go to bed. No, she's not going to. Bella's not going to bed. Bella's sleeping right there. Come on, you gotta go to bed, please. Pretty, please go to bed. There's no audio? It's got to be audio now, right? Anyway. Why is it? What the hell is going on with this camera? Every time I look, it seems like it's moving. Is it moving? What is going on? I thought I had it mounted good. All right. So Arlington said that while the FBI had the authorization to copy the records from a separate court order, he believes they did not have the proper permission to take physical custody of the original 2020 ballots and voter rolls. FBI agents took around 700 boxes of records. The warrant authorized agents to seize all physical ballots, scanned images from counting printouts of voting machines and voter registration. Well, if the warrant authorized agents to seize all physical ballots, then they have permission to take the originals, right? I mean, that's what this is. Why did my camera just get screwy? Something weird there. Dust for prints, yeah. What? Do I want some lunch? It's not lunchtime. It's midnight.
I want some lunch. I want some lunch.
Oh, man, you're all right. Give me a minute. Yesterday, FBI raid office revived lawsuit for Georgia records makes one thing clear. All right, stop.
What is that thing?
Stop.
What is that thing?
Stop. So let me be clear. We will not bend. We will not back down. We have free and fair elections. Get the kids some tacos. That's the door.
Georgia is a swing state. Georgia is ground zero, and Georgia will be targeted. We're not guessing anymore. We're watching it happen in real time. And the question is whether we are going to pretend it's normal or whether we are going to name it for what it is. This is not about 2020. This is about 2026. Nearly 6 years after Georgia voters made their choice, some people are still trying to keep the state trapped in a permanent argument about the last election so they can justify rewriting the rules for the next one. When you can't win an election fair and square, you try to control who runs it. When you can't persuade voters, you try to control the process. And when you can't accept the truth, you try to bury it under noise. And while they are trying to keep Georgia locked in a never-ending fight about 2020, real people are living in 2026. Families are paying more and getting less. Hospitals are closing. Rent is rising. Insurance premiums are rising. Wages are not. When leaders have nothing to offer on affordability, nothing to offer on healthcare, nothing to offer on stability, they reach for the oldest trick in politics. Keep people afraid, keep people angry, and keep the spotlight on anything except the bill.
Why is she reading that off of a page? Can't she talk about the stuff you like? I never like that when people can't actually say, you know what I mean, when they're just reading off of a sheet of paper. Your team Comet Strike. Yeah, I'm Team Asteroid myself. Commie, yeah, free stuff. Election theft matters. It does. This is crazy.
Piling up on the kitchen table. The U.S. Department of Justice has been suing for access to Georgia's unredacted statewide voter registration data. Data that includes sensitive personal information, including your driver's license numbers, impartial social security numbers. This is not a small request. This is not routine. It is.
The government, the federal government, has every citizen's social security number already. They gave them the number.
That served me stop. That served me stop.
What?
Stop doing that.
Doing what?
Stop doing video games.
I'm not doing a video game. I'm making a recording. People are watching this on the TV.
Why are you doing that? That's weird.
It's not weird. Stop.
Not normal, and it is not harmless. This is about information. It is about leverage. It's about control. So here's my message today. We will not let the future of Georgia elections be decided by people who are still trying to relitigate the last one. And we will say it clearly over and over until nobody can pretend they do not understand. This is not about 2020. This is about 2026.
Wow. It's about 2026. No, I think it's about 2028, but whatever. Fulton County, which includes Atlanta, is the state's largest county. Former President Biden won the county by a significant margin. Well, oh, that's Diamond G says, Jim is weird, confirmed. Jim is weird, he's right. Okay. Repeal the 19th. Yes, he's so cute, he is. Yes, he is. D-homo, he is. They are panicking that their crimes are being found out. Yeah. It's like she's under duress. It is. It's crazy, right? Trump has repeatedly claimed that voter fraud in Georgia cost him electoral college votes. Yes, it did. Electoral votes, it did. It says there's no chain of custody inventory taken at the time of the records were seized, which means FBI cannot verify the documents will be returned safely. What? There was no chain of custody of the stuff to begin with from them. That's part of the problem. It was unusual about the raids. The director of NSA was spotted, National Intelligence was spotted at the site, even though this appears to be a domestic matter. Well, there's been reports that foreign governments were involved, that foreigners were involved in this stuff. So maybe that's what they're looking into. It is about how Democrats held control through fraud. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. This is Fulton County sues after FBI seized 2020 election records. Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington announced Monday the county will file a lawsuit. This comes after federal agents executed a search warrant. Local officials have criticized the warrant, saying it represents a federal overreach. So now, first they were saying, what? All right. Stop what?
Stop shooting me.
Okay.
Stop that.
Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. Please like and subscribe. I've asked this county attorney to take any else stuff, so we read all that. All right. And then NBC5 has the same thing. Just NBC, sorry, I don't want to call NBC5. Fulton County, Georgia, to sue Trump over the seized 2020 election records. And this is some good news here. Trump launches Project Vault, a $12 billion rare earth stockpile to reduce the U.S.'s reliance on China. I want to sit with you. You want to sit with me?
Yeah.
You can't right now.
I want to sit with you. I just want to sit with you. That's all I want. That's all I want.
President Trump announced a $12 billion stockpile of critical minerals in an attempt to reduce U.S. reliance on China's supply and stabilize prices for American manufacturers. The Post has learned. The president's Project Vault will be backed by $1.67 billion in private capital and $10 billion loan from U.S. Export-Import Bank, the White House official confirmed to the Post. For years, American businesses have risked running out of critical minerals during market disruptions. The president said Monday at the Oval Office, but today we're launching what will be known as Project Vault to ensure the American businesses and workers are never harmed by any shortage. We need to let Jim go and be grandpa. I'm trying to.
Dog.
What?
Do you see that dog?
See the dog?
That was funny.
The dog?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on it. It's Bella. Or are you talking about, is there a dog on here? Are you talking about Bella?
No, the purple guy.
The purple guy? What?
On shelf. I see Bella toy on
For years, American businesses have risked running out. In Trump's latest attempt to grapple with China's dominance over rare earths. Shares in American rare earth miners, Neocorp, and U.S. and Antimony Corporation, U.S. Rare Earth, they all soared 9%, 4%, 5%, so quite a bit. Big jumps in those companies. The first of its kind mineral stockpile will act similar to the nation's emergency oil stockpile, so like the Reserve aims to stabilize prices and minimize supply shocks. Firms that pledge to buy materials at a specific inventory price down the line will pay upfront fees and give Project Vault a list of their preferred materials. So this is going to be like a place where they store the stuff. They say we're going to need, like, say a company needs, like they go, we're going to need 500, and then these are just me making a number. So say we're going to need like 500 tons, but it's probably like millions of tons or, whatever. And so they'll have it and they'll know, and so they'll pay like a fee and it'll get stored and they get it at a set price and stuff like that. So stock up on ammo. Well, that stuff is, believe it or not, there's an ammo thing going on, and it has nothing to do with like what you would think. It's because of all the AI stuff that's being built, all the AI, all the AI facilities and all the stuff, all the copper and stuff that's being used to make the materials for that is eating into the suppliers for make the brass and stuff like that, and copper and all these other things. So key facet of the deal is that manufacturers will sign on to buy, repurchase the same amount, same price in the future. Okay. While the U.S. already has a critical mineral stockpile for national security needs, this will be the first reserve for private companies. All right. You know what, people? I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to say I will pop back on tomorrow night, and we'll try to do more. I think he's staying at his Meemaw's house tomorrow, so it should be okay. I want to thank everybody who's here. I'll send you over to Joe. You guys have a great night. Watch out.
Joe.
Yeah. And then,
What the Joe?
good night, Jim. Go feed the kid a snack around the store. I'm gonna. And then I'm gonna send you guys over to Joe. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see if where are we at here? If Tuesday night is better for everyone. So, yeah, Joe. Okay. All right. So yeah. So thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night. GG.